Hello! Hey. Welcome to the 7th episode of Diverse the Verse. I am MzHartz, and with me I've got Merekat, Sofiegrl, and Echo, and Brian Chambers.
Woo! Hey everyone!
Thank you very much.
I'm on lucky number 7.
Yes, you are on lucky number 7.
I like that. Thanks.
Hey, that worked out nicely.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice.
Granted, any episode of Diverse the Verse is lucky.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I've heard. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here, Brian. This means so much to us. We have been looking forward to having you on the show, and we're all really grateful that you were able to make it. And thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to sit with us.
Absolutely. It's Friday. It is almost the end of my day here, so what better way to end the day and jump into the weekend to hang out and talk game? Yeah?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect, yeah. All you need is a beer.
Yeah, I got water. Yeah.
MzHartz, did you tell everybody what your dual role is today?
Yes, so I am hosting and producing today. So if I'm distracted, that's why. So thank you everyone for joining us, and I apologize if I missed stuff in chat.
We'll keep an eye on it for you.
Thank you.
So where to begin, MzHartz?
What's that?
Where to begin?
Yeah, where are you going to begin?
Exactly. Well, yesterday we got to see an awesome ATV that featured the Frankfurt office.
Yep.
And there was so much stuff in there. We all took notes on things we wanted to ask.
Pages of notes.
But maybe a good place to start, especially since you are featuring an office that's not in the U.S., that works on different time zones and such. How do you work with the other offices? How in the world do you guys communicate in these radically different time zones and still get everything done?
Yeah. No, good question. UK, us working with the UK is fairly simple. We're only 1 hour different. So I would honestly say we probably here in Frankfurt have the most back and forth with the UK, right? When you look at the way we communicate and work with LA and Austin, sometimes it gets a little, not difficult, but we all just have to be mindful of everyone else's schedule, right? Sometimes I have meetings at 6:30 or 7:30 my time to be able to sit down and talk with some of the directors or some of the other guys in LA. Sometimes they come in early, sometimes we stay late. But I think on the foundation of it, with production driving what we need to drive and having our schedules in place, we're usually fairly informed, right? So it's not necessarily talking to people about, hey, what do I do here? What do I do here? But it's more about the questions, the reviews. Hey, we finished this thing, or we're having an issue here. How do we want to sort it out? How do we want to resolve it? So, and at one point I had gotten asked by some reporter at one point, they're like, oh, you got 4 offices around the world and you guys are making progress, so you must have it all sorted out, right? And I go, oh God, no, absolutely not, right? I said, what we have in place is 100% working, but I would say probably every week, every month, we look at the processes we do have in place. If somebody has suggestions to make things a little bit clearer, communicate a little bit different, organize things a little bit different, then we kind of embrace those to always try to help improve our processes.
Awesome. Good. Well, we're glad that you can work together that way, and that makes Star Citizen deeper and come along faster.
Yeah, sometimes it's actually a huge benefit. Like we finish something, we hand it over to LA, they wake up, they work on it, they throw it back to us, and so in some areas you definitely get more traction and more progress.
Did you say in this week's ATV, and I may have this written down wrong, so 2 years ago 6 employees. And then, is it 70 employees within the last month?
No, I
right?
mean, yes, I think technically in the books right now, as far as all the contracts, I think we're up to 71 people.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Actually, working in the office right now, I think we're at 64, 63 or 64. The other people are, I think there's 5 people that are future starters. There's one guy who's a temp IT guy to help us out when our guy has a lot to do or goes on vacation or so on. So, yeah, from on average, and I have to know this stuff because we break down all the detail of the office here. On average, we were bringing in 2.7 people per month. Yeah, I know you can't really bring in a 0.7 person, but when I do the math,
Who's bringing the dog into the office?
Yeah, we do have a dog. Our IT guy Moritz, he bought a little puppy, and the little puppy is not little anymore. Yeah.
Aw.
I love dogs in offices.
Yeah,
it's good. We do have one guy.
release.
Absolutely, we do have one guy who has allergies, but he said they're mild. So the dog primarily stays in the IT office. And it's funny, he actually bought a little baby gate that stays there so he can have his door open so people can come in and talk to him, but the dog can't come out. So, yeah.
It would be hard not to spend the whole day with the dog.
Yeah, it's a cute dog. Her name's Lucy.
Lucy.
Aww. So that's in-office stuff. What about the things you do outside of the office, like interacting with the community, bar citizens? Are you involved with a lot of that?
Yeah, I try to be as much as possible. I try to say, oh yeah, I'll help out wherever, whenever, right? Even stuff like this, hanging out and chatting, right? So if there's something in town or if there's something fairly local that I can go to and hang out and talk with people and thank them for supporting us and answering questions. Yeah, I go out of my way to do that. And what's it, Britison Con? I forgot the exact date. It's like the 22nd or 23rd of next month of April.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's out in the UK, fairly close to the Winslow office. I'm going to go out there. I already have a hotel and travel booked, so I'll be out there to hang out with the guys out there and, have fun with everyone for a day. So, yeah, I try to do as much as I can. One thing that was funny for me, too, is it's really cool how there's the interactive Bar Citizen website, right? And I check it probably every few weeks. And I haven't yet, but I want to randomly just pick one that has,
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
but just like 5 or 6 people attending, and I want to just show up.
Oh, you should. That
That
was
would
out
be
of
great.
nowhere. Yes.
Yeah. So,
That's a good idea.
yeah.
Definitely.
If something works out where it's not too far, then yeah, just kind of show up and be like, hey, what's up?
Oh, they would love that. Yeah.
Well, it would be fun. When you make games, you don't get a lot of feedback for what you do traditionally, right? Until the game is out there and the game is published. So I've said it so many times, but you're locked in a building, you're locked in a room with a good group of guys, and you're working hard. It's not until there's a release or a demo or trailers you're putting out for some type of convention. And when you do show stuff and you get feedback from people, the team vibes off of that, right? It lifts them up. It pumps them up. They get excited. We get that all the time, right? It's incredibly unique and it's rare, but I always push the team to interact with backers and other citizens as well because, they're engaged. Sometimes people come up and just like, hey, I love what you do. Right?
And
Other
hopefully
times-
help spread the passion.
Absolutely. Other times people come up and they want to talk low-level system design details and how we're tuning stuff and, how we've done it wrong and how we should do it. But it all comes from the same place, and it's cool. So, yeah, We try to do it as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What do you find is the toughest part of your job, really? Like, what is the most demanding thing that you can
The most
mention?
demanding.
What do you find like most demanding personally?
Just getting everything done, I think, honestly, right, on a daily basis, because there's a lot of people dependent on me getting stuff done here in order for the office to continue to run smooth, right? Whether that be helping to find the right people to join the team within certain disciplines, whether that be, hey, something's come up and we need to kind of crunch numbers. Hey, this part of the schedule, can you help us sort this out? Hey, this and this and this. Everybody that comes in has, in their mind, the absolute highest priority, right? So there could be 10 people within 1 hour that ask something, and for them it is, oh man, I need this now, right? So I think that's probably, if I have to say anything that's demanding, it's probably just that. It's just making sure that you can prioritize to give people what they need by the time they need it, so things keep moving forward, right? I've often said that, I've been doing this for a little over 20 years, and when I first started, you go into the office, I have everything written down what I need to get done that day, and I don't leave until it's done, right? Well, 5 years in, and a little more responsibility, you go, oof, so it's getting harder. Having to come in a little, my list is getting bigger, and my list is a little more complicated. And then it was probably 12 years ago or so, I just, had to realize that I will never get the list done, ever, right? And it's true. You come in and you have 15 things that you need to get done, and some of them have an incredible amount of high priority to accomplish. And the moment you sit down, 5 more things come in that 100% take higher priority than those. So that stuff you actually had to get done that day, you know what? It's not going to get done for a couple of days because this stuff's on fire, right? So it's just that balance. But I think with proper communication and people understanding everything that you're juggling, then it's not like people get upset. It's just sometimes people will need to wait or find other people to help them.
Yeah, I can totally imagine. I just started a new job where it's pretty much like that. Like, I get all these deadlines all the time, like every day, that I need to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to prioritize which comes first, and
absolutely.
Obviously, it's smaller, like on a smaller scale.
Still on a scale.
Yeah.
So I've got a question as well, following into this here. So when you go home at night, are you able to shut your brain off and go like, okay, that's for tomorrow? Or are you constantly thinking about, like, do you fall asleep and you wake up in the middle of the night and you have aha moments where you're like, oh, if we did that? Or, are you, I could see how it could potentially just be very all-consuming. So I wondered if that was the case.
Yeah, it is all-consuming. I try on the weekends, though, to chill out. And I do chill out. But it is always in your head. There's always something going on, By the time I go to sleep, the U.S. is rolling. And emails still come in. Now, of course, people know when I go home, all right, cool, he's at home. You don't have to, do anything. But the old person I am and my work ethic and what I do, of course, if I'm still up at 11 or 12 and an email comes in and it's addressed to me, I take the time to answer it, right?
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, I do it all the time. And there are some times, but it's just like anything. And it's not, don't even necessarily relate it to Star Citizen. Don't relate it to a game, right? It's something, if I'm working on something and I'm passionate about it and I have some sense of responsibility and I'm trying to accomplish something, whatever it is, maybe it's an own art piece that I'm working on or whatever, right? I may wake up at 3 in the morning and go, oh, what if I did that, right? And I have a notebook by the side of my bed and I jot something down. So now apply that to Star Citizen, and with so many offices and over 400 people and how big this universe is and cutscenes and blah, and what we're owning here in Frankfurt with AI and the engine team and weapons and a big portion on design, there's always something in my head, right? And sometimes it's, I'll wake up and go, oh crap, did I send out that email? Oh, I don't remember. Okay.
I've dreamed I've sent emails before.
Yeah, and then I grab my phone and check my, sent box because I knew somebody needed it that day, right? And 99% of the times I had already sent the email, but yeah. So it is always in your head, but it's I choose for it to be in my head, right? People always say, and it I don't know if it frustrates me or makes me smile, but there's so many times where we shoot ATV, and the comments that come in where, oh man, Brian, you look so tired. Oh God, you look so... Not this time I had we lit the thing differently this time. The last ATV we did, I think I got 6 private messages from people that I didn't know on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, it's
on Twitter, like 6 private messages from people I didn't know that go, dude, you're really doing a great job there, but you really need to take care of yourself. You look horrible. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. Yeah, I was a little tired, but I'm always a little tired.
I thought I was all right.
Yeah.
It makes you a bit self-conscious.
But I did, and when they sent that, I did look at the footage, and it's funny, if you look at the footage, I think it was like the day before I had shot a thing with Jared where you answer the questions, right?
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I go, okay, well, you look okay there. But then I looked at the ATV footage, and I'm like, oh God, dude, you look horrible. Like
who chose the top-down light? Yeah.
No, the way they lit me, like I had these huge bags, and I was kind of like half red and half yellow, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, the comments are kind of justified, so yeah.
Well, at least now we can put that rumor bed to
yes.
Yeah. Sorry everyone that I look tired. I apologize.
It's all good. No worries.
Thank you.
Zombie chambers, yeah.
Yeah, start doing it on purpose now.
Absolutely. I'm gonna paint bags under my eyes.
There you go.
That's funny.
So
Chats.
we have a ton of questions about Star Citizen itself. So the question is where to start. So what is that thing, that project in Star Citizen that's on the top of your brain right now?
What's on my brain right now in regards to the project?
Yes.
Good one.
Well, if I don't have to think, it's always about the most immediate thing that I just was doing. And we just interviewed 2 candidates. So my thought is when I'm done with this call, I'm drafting up contract details and talking with Aaron to talk it through to go, cool. Another build engineer and another tester. If I have to think the game specifically, it is about the kick-ass plans that we're putting together for the next events. That we plan out stuff based off our roadmap and what we think we're going to have and ready to be shown when and where. You guys will hear news soon on the next events we're going to have. And so we were just chatting about that the other day. And absolutely can give absolutely no details. So Mr. Cryptic Chambers, but honestly, that's stuff that gets us excited because we know it's stuff that showing yet more of our progress and more of that much closer to kind of the end goal.
Yeah, those are probably the things that people are waiting for the most.
Well, I hear it all the time. I know, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So we had a good question in chat come in that I think I'm going to go ahead and pull up.
Bring it.
Wait,
what-
so I'm reading it right now. Somebody called me Zombie Chambers. Wait, can we ban that person really quick?
Well, but if we did, the comment would go away.
No, I know. I'm kidding. Bring it all on. Bring on the negative. I dare you all. See what I did there? It's going to be thick now.
But wait, I also saw somebody asking about if we're gonna have the Brian Chambers hair in the character customization. So I thought that was a positive, definitely.
Okay, that's cool. Good.
Yeah, so it said go from bald to Brian
Yeah, it's a
Chambers.
balance. So it's always a scale, right? Like we said, like Sophie said, it's just a different size scale. It's cool.
So Stimrog asked, what do you want to do and experience most in the complete universe?
It's always a soft answer. Knowing all the different types of careers and the different types of play styles you can have, right? The thing I'm honestly looking forward to the most is when we get more and more in there, being able to change it up at any moment, right? That I'm the good guy with the refueler ship, just helping my buddies out, versus I'm in a small fighter ship and I'm streaming through and blowing people up, versus I'm ripping stuff off and taking it to other planets and selling it, versus I'm this versus that. So for me, it's whatever mood I'm in, I can pick it up and play and kind of represent how I'm feeling at that time with my play style. And I know that's a soft answer, but it's really not meant to be. That's truly honest, right? You play any game and there's, there's a certain thing, right? You think old school Atari. You play Frogger. There's not really much changes in that. You play Pac-Man. Okay, cool, right? You play something like this, it is truly a universe, and it gives you the ability to play and interact and act the way you want. And that's what I'm looking forward to, honestly, the most.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
one of the
thing.
things. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that that's one of the things I look for the most. Sort of being free to choose whatever game style you want for that day. It's really important to have that diversity in the verse as well.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I want to, the four of us will play friendly, and then next thing you know, Sophie's like, Leroy Jenkins, and just, going, and we're like, no, but she's like, her cat tipped over a glass of water. She's upset. She's like, screw it, I'm going to town, right?
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Absolutely. No, I'm going to do that too. Are you kidding? I'm going to be probably the most sarcastic player that ever existed. Yeah.
Well, that's happened to me with Sophie once. We were playing Star Marine, and it was like at first we were playing as a team, but then on the next moment, I was getting shot in the head.
That's awesome.
You never know.
You never know, no. Well, you gotta, like you're saying, you gotta check out kind of, the good side, and then maybe just check out what it's like to kill your friend. I don't know.
Makes sense to me.
And
Absolutely.
that can be fun as well.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, see, you're laughing about it now, so it was.
Yeah.
It was all like good fun.
Yeah.
One of my proudest moments is when someone killed one of my friends at a repair station. And I didn't know who, so I killed everyone else at the repair station.
That's legit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You gotta protect
That was my friend.
That's your
Exactly.
invention.
No one kills my friend but me.
Absolutely. Yes, which is true.
There's a level of intimacy doing that. Yes.
And I think that's what makes Star Citizen great, is that we have all of these opportunities to change our playstyle and change what we do, and it's so open.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I say, I mean, sometimes it sounds like a soft answer. I should say, I can't wait to pick up gun X and jump in ship X and go to planet X, But it really is the whole mix of everything for me, and being able to change it up in a heartbeat if you want.
So when it comes to those future deciding what you want to do, basically. How will the AI tie into that?
How so? What do you mean?
There's
How
going to
would
be
it
a
say?
lot of non-playable characters, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Well, yeah, I mean, the reality is with the AI is going to be the AI system that we're building. It's honestly unlike anything that I have seen so far. It's always easy for me to say because I'm making the game, but honestly, right? There's a tremendous amount of careers that people can do, and within each career there's specific things and specific actions you're doing that come with specific animations and so on, right? Every career that a player can do, the AI needs to do as well, and the AI has to be within supporting roles of those, right? So when you think of this assumption tool and building those careers, I mean, the AI is vast, the amount of animations that are in there. And that's why I went into a little bit of detail on the ATV when you talk about the blending, that we really needed ways to do as much procedural fluid blending as possible, right? I throw 20 dudes in a room that all have different careers with different motives, different motivation, a different brain on them. They all need to navigate around one another and not look like they're AI navigating around one another.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, and what I am hoping that in the next, couple updates that we do out of Frankfurt, that we'll be able to show some more of the AI actually moving. Right now, there's a tremendous amount of work on building those brains and getting those brains to function absolutely the way that we need to. And those brains need to be able to hear everything within a certain context. They need to be able to tune out certain things in certain context, and it does get complex. I mean, you hear gunshots, and if you hear gunfire, the AI will know. I mean, if it's really loud and really close, they're going to react a certain way. If that gunfire is faint in the distance, they're still going to react, but they're going to react a different way because it's not as much of a threat. Right, so there's this level of detail that we're building up there that I think is really going to make for an awesome experience. No, that's why I'm so tired. See? No, it's it's not me thinking of everything. We have 413? Was it 407? I forgot the exact global number. But there's a little over 400 people working on this thing. There's directors in places to direct. Underneath them, there's leaders in places to lead their team. Underneath there's senior people to help mentor the younger people and not as experienced, right? So you build up a structure and a way of communicating that people can come in and focus and get it done. But it does take a good amount of meetings with things as big as this game. I want to do a thing. There's a tremendous amount of dependencies around that thing I want to get done, right? Oh, I want to change the way this was designed. Wait, hold on. You change that design, that touches 80 things, right? So there has to be a lot of communication to make sure that what we're doing step by step is in conjunction with all the other disciplines that, what our lead system designer is suggesting isn't going to break something that they've set up across the levels that already exist. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the most ambitious and cool projects I've ever been on, honestly. But
yeah, I think it's definitely one of the most interesting ones.
Yeah, but I look at the team, and again, it's so easy for me to say this because I'm here and supposed to be in charge of this office. But when I look at the team that I'm fortunate enough to have built around me here in Frankfurt, we don't have people here just filling desks. We have strong senior people here for a very specific reason, and people are here. We have declined candidates that come in and they absolutely have the skill set to pull off what we need, but this genre and this type of game is not their favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
The guys that are sitting here are like, dude, I can't wait to pull this off.
Right.
And that goes from the animation engineer and the system designers and the cinematic team and the tech artists. Everybody really is incredibly into this project and what we're doing, and incredibly skilled in what they're doing. So it's an awesome team that we've built here and that we actually have globally. It's cool.
And I think the passion really shows, like it really relays as well. You can see it from all the little steps ahead.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, and it's also one of the reasons, in a way, that we decided to change up a little bit of the what we're showing on ATV, right? At one point, if you guys, I'm sure you'll remember, when we would do the studio updates, we're like, "Hey, I'm Brian. This is what we did," right? And people liked it, and I did just go through the whole team and talk about what we did, and people were like, "Whoa, my God, they did a lot." But now, that the team is bigger globally. And every month, every studio an office is pushing stuff out. It was like, no, let's take a bit of time and actually let's show off more, right? So it does take a little bit of time for some of the guys to prepare, just a little bit. When I'm like, hey, tech artist, you made this new tool. Can you spend 20 minutes and make a video of yourself using it, right? Hey, environment art team, can you give me some new videos of the new moons you just did, right? Hey, whatever, right? So it does take a little bit of time, but most of the time's on me, right? Trying to pull it all together. So with that, we're trying to show off more of what we do. And I think so far it's been received pretty well. But it's just to give insight that, yeah, we're working. Sorry we haven't released that yet, but look at the progress where we're making,
I think that comes across. I really loved this week's ATV. I thought it was just very succinct.
You're just saying that because I'm on right now.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
I loved it, Brian. It was great.
It was amazing. No, I thought it was fantastic. I thought you got a lot of information out there in a really succinct way when there's so much. I mean, I've got 3 pages of notes that we haven't even gone over. The new grid system and what was it called? The visual target. I can't even comprehend most of what you say most of the time anyhow. But there's the hydroponics lab.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, yeah, there was so much about the lighting, and it's just a lot to digest, and I really appreciate that.
No, it's cool.
Think about
yeah. We like pulling it together. I mean, I see what the team does every day, and to be able to show that off is cool. And it's also even a reminder back for us on the team, right? When ATV comes out, the guys here internally in the office are seeing me in the hall go, dude, great job on ATV this week. Stuff looked cool. And I'm like, wait, this is your office too. Like, what do you mean? Like, dude, I never saw, I never saw Campbell's lighting tests. Those look cool. Or, wow, the physics grid, really, he got that checked in already. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. Great. So you get feedback from the office too. That's awesome.
Even internally, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So.
And I think it's really interesting to follow as well, like as a backer, because you can see all the, you would have no idea how much work you put into things like, for example, that walking animation or whatever. You don't know all the steps. So it's really interesting to see that.
Yeah, I try when I put them together as well to be as informative as possible, right? It's not like, hey, look, this guy did a thing, right? It's like, hey, in this game, this is a challenge, and we tackled it this way, and this is the progress of what we did, and this is what it means to people that'll be playing this, or this is what it means to the game in general, right? So you tie it in to give context to give an understanding of what people are seeing and why we've done what we've done.
Mm.
Yep. Just glorified toy makers. That's all we are.
Yes, but we like your toys.
That's all.
So I don't want to take everything over here. Sophie or Merekat, what is the thing you want to know most about from the Frankfurt office? Like AI, procedural planets, weapons, FPS?
Probably the FPS side for me. I saw the new weapons on ATV. So
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, could you
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about those? A little bit.
No, I mean, you know, the weapons team's strong. We're up to 5 guys on the weapons team, and we think it's going to probably stay at 5. 2 of the 5 are focused on ship weapons, and the other one's FPS. When you talk about cross-studio functioning, I think we already put it out. There was a weapons pipeline piece we did on ATV a month or 2 ago. But it really kind of held everyone's hand through the life of a weapon, right? With, hey, we need a weapon, right? We need a long range, we need this, we need diversity. And so that starts with design, goes to concept, and so on, and gets all the way back to the weapons team. But, yeah, I'm actually looking at them right now, the video. The guys, you know, it's a strong team. We have the lead here. His name's Toby. And he's driving the guys in conjunction with Paul Jones. Sorry, I muted real quick. Paul Jones, our art director in the UK. So they work closely. Here's concepts. Here's what needs to happen. They work closely with design. What's the functionality of this weapon? They go to extreme detail of research. We have a whole slew of weapons now in the office.
Prototypes.
That
they
are
like-
replicas. That are, you know.
Are they like 3D printed or something? Or
You know, we do have one of Pavel, one of our weapons artists. His friend manufactures a bunch of stuff like that, both 3D printing and CD machines and so on. So we were talking about doing a test with him, of at least starting with a small weapon and see if they can print it for us. And yeah, that could be cool.
Oh, heck
But-
yeah.
yeah. Well,
But the thing that's cool with the weapons guys too is, again, they're talented. They know what they're doing. They're really, you know, in this industry, you consider them hard surface artists because it's all primarily hard surfaces, right? Yeah, they're really good. They've been, the level of detail, like when they throw me the videos to put in and I'm reviewing everything, I look at them and I'm just like, wow, look at that. That's nuts, right? And I see the life of them too, because you see, okay, well, here's some rough concepts. Here's a blocked out version all the way till it gets to its second or third, you know, polish pass. And just the level of detail on them is nuts. So
yeah.
the ship weapons are getting more up to speed right now. We had to take a half a step backwards to focus a little more on the pipeline because we wanted to have a modularity system that was in place. And we realized the most efficient way to do that meant that we had to rework some of the existing ship weapons. So we had to find the best way to do it. So we had to take a little bit of time to rework that pipeline, but I think you're going to start seeing more and more ship weapons come out too.
I've got a question. I'm not exactly sure how to ask this, so bear with me. Can you just walk me through how you create, just say, isolate a weapon? So take one of the guns. So you need a gun for a game. Okay. Where do you start with that process? Do you go find someone who knows about real world guns and everything to do with the holding the weapon, firing the weapon, the body mechanics of holding the weapon? And then could you explain that a little bit? Because where do you start with it? Or do you look up pictures on the internet and go like, yeah, that's a gun, and then you go buy a Nerf thing and play around with it in the office? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking a lot. It's on decent lines. I mean, a weapons artist is a weapons artist, right? There's somebody that knows weapons, that knows how to build them, that knows the functionality of them, right?
Okay.
These guys know their weapons. So when you go, hey, I need a handgun, they're like, well, you want this model or this model? And 10 minutes later, I'm like, I don't know. Now, of course, not all of them are as educated on that, but they build themselves up. And from that, there's tons of reference. There's tons of libraries that you can pull through that talk about, the different lengths of stocks and the actual different types of grips that you have, and how big is the trigger versus this, and how do the reloads work, and so on. So when somebody decides, okay, we need a mid-range rifle, right, whatever, they then start digging into it and go, okay, cool, the basis of the mid-range rifle, are we going realistic here, or are we going sci-fi, right? What's the parameters behind that you're creating? Does it have to just be this type of weapon, so that you're mimicking an existing weapon? That's the easiest. If it is futuristic, if you're pushing the boundaries, cool. What functionality does that weapon have? Okay, well, it's got to be able to do this, it's got to be able to do this, it's got to be able to do this, and it's got a flashlight on the back, and it's whatever, right? Cool, now they have all those, they kind of have the brief, if you will, on what that is that they need to build, and that's when they start going to town. It'll start with concept artists concepting stuff out, doing rough drawings. Then they'll throw it to the art team. The art team will do a really quick pass. No detail, no anything, but just a really kind of quick pass. And if you go back in, if anyone searches for the weapon pipeline video, it kind of takes it from there. It then goes to animators, and animators can start looking at it and going, okay, is the weapon sized in a way that feels good for what its purpose is, right? Cool, well, the overall size is good, awesome. Is the grip realistic, right? Can the hands actually fit behind? Okay, is the reload mechanism, although it doesn't work yet, is that in a proper place? Because, again, we've made all this up. It's a weapon we've created. So we really do have to tear it apart department by department to make sure that it's going to function the way that ultimately we want to. And then from there, you throw it to audio, and audio starts having fun, going, oh, wait, here's a weapon that doesn't exist, right. and then VFX, okay, cool, what kind of pew pew am I giving this thing? How does it look? So yeah.
What about the weapon balancing? Like, do you do that at Frankfurt office at all?
I know Todd Pappy drives that a little bit. The balancing, primarily, I think on the balancing, a lot of that is in the UK.
Yeah.
So I know we recently, I think it was before the 2.6 release, we did a lot of testing on the balancing. That, not necessarily on the balancing, but we needed to make sure on the animation side as well. When you talk about balancing, the balancing for me also goes into play into how that damage is actually calculated, right? Because let's say a weapon can do X% of damage at X distance, right? I need to make sure that it always does that all the time, to every part of the body, right? If that's being shot at an arm, if that's being shot in a leg or whatever. So we recently created a couple test maps, and QA for 2 days was, putting somebody at 100 yards and shooting him in the head, and then shooting the left arm, and then shooting the right arm, and then put him in.
That sounds like fun.
Then shoot.
Yeah.
And they literally put him in, 50 meters. Okay, shoot him in the head. Shoot him in the left arm. Shoot him in the right arm, right? So we went through this, and when we went through the process, we actually found a couple of things that we needed to tweak. And it was on the character side and how the reactions were for the hits. But, we go through the tests for a reason. Yeah. It's the whole picture on the balancing that we needed to be fair. I mean, what if, the left arm did more damage? People would find that out in 20 minutes after playing, most likely knowing our community, and they would just exploit the crap out of it. Right? They'd be running around with their right shoulder hanging out. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Who wants to bring this up?
Okay, so we have to ask because you know your hosts here.
Yes.
We ask everyone who's on, what can you tell us about the female model?
I think Sandy just put out some pictures yesterday or today, didn't she? Of getting a female, kind of still working on it, and
Well, we saw some pictures in recent ATV.
yeah.
Yeah, the prior ATV had some juicy bits in it.
Yeah.
So we saw the
with the
female.
armor.
Yeah.
No, you know, the female is alive. I have seen her.
She's alive.
I have seen her move.
Can you confirm if she has shot anything? Can you confirm this?
No, actually, I can't.
Okay.
And nor can I deny it, I guess. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, but the character team is based out of Los Angeles. So I'll preface it with the Los Angeles team being the furthest away in time zone. It's really difficult for me to communicate with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know the female's absolutely, she's alive. We look forward to getting her out to everybody. So,
We've seen a tiny bit of animation. Like in this last ATV, there was just a small glimpse. I think it was of Squadron 42 animation with her like moving at a desk or something like that. And then we've seen some walking animations in the background of another video. So we've gotten tiny little glimpse, which is really great. Just know that
I think absolutely.
excited.
I think that when you talk about getting the base of animations together, right? I think the primary focus has been, okay, let's get the male character complete. What does complete mean? Some of that is a little subjective because, again, so many careers, so many this and this and this, right? Between the male and the female, there are a certain amount of animations that can absolutely be shared. Some that can be shared with even some procedural stuff on top of it that gives certain offsets and all that, right? But there's going to be other ones that absolutely should not be shared at all. So we're still in the process of putting it all together. Obviously, there's not an exact time frame I can give you, but
That's okay.
she is alive, and she is, I would say, every single day making progress. It's not like we said, oh yeah, the female character, no, we'll just put her over there for a while. No, every single day that there's definitely baby steps to get her where she needs to be.
Yeah.
Not
That's
Sophie. Look
probably-
at Sophie.
Yeah, it's probably one of the things we're looking for the most, probably.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really looking forward to it. As long as everyone knows that we're really excited about it, and you're working on it, we're all good. We're good.
We are working on it, and it will be done. And at one point, you will be able to play as the female character and pew
Thank you.
pew pew all around.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. I'll take that.
Okay.
All right. What other questions did we have?
Do we have anything
Still
from?
Well, we actually haven't. The thing I want to hear about, other than female models,
Oh, go.
is I'm really excited about planets, procedural planets, and like I know they're part procedural, but then they're kind of customized and such. How much is customized? How much is just procedural? How far are planets? Are they going faster now that you've got that procedural text set up?
That is, MzHartz, that's a lot of questions.
It's a lot of questions. Just talk about procedural.
There's so many specific questions. Maybe if you could email them to me, and then I'll take some time to...
Careful.
No, so, yeah. No, I can go through it a bit. To generate a planet doesn't take a lot of time to just generate the mass, right? What we've been spending time doing then is building up properly the ecosystems and the way in which objects should be placed and or scattered within each ecosystem, right? So I'm trying to figure it, visualizing it through my head, going, okay, well, which bit to start on? So let's say you just want a rocky, let's say it's semi-deserty, but some grass as well, right? The artists are generating bits of grass, different types of rocks, different types of textures, different trees, and so on. They are generating these assets. So then what we can do then with the tools we've built, we can basically put 5 different of those rocks within a paint bucket, if you will, a digital paint bucket. We can go into that planet and just start painting those in. With the parameters we set, it's going to put those rocks at different scale. It's going to put them at different orientation. It's even going to potentially put them at different translation, different distances apart, and even skew the textures a bit, so we don't have the sense of being repetitive, right? Yeah. So cool, click of a button, bam, there's a giant planet. No joke, it's huge. Not Earth-size, because we realized that was just stupid and ridiculous. I think some will be Earth-size, right? But then it's up to the artist to go in and go, okay, cool, this one's a desert area, this is an icy, snowy area, this is whatever. They can easily tweak the terrain. When I say easily, incredibly easy, right? They have a tool set where they're selecting the geometry, they pull it up, okay, cool, paint it, this is snow, this is rocks, click some buttons, change stuff. So they could put together, if they wanted, an incredibly rough planet filled with ecosystems. I'm going to guess, and somebody's going to probably yell at me, and other people won't, but 2 days, right? Now, where it becomes the chore, and maybe in less than 2 days, where it becomes the chore and where the fine-tuning is you go, cool, now design, right, is in play. And design goes, well, for this planet, we need this and this and this and this. Here's your main points you need, right? Here's this main base or this main tower. We want to have something tall in the distance as a focal point to ground the player. We want this, we want this. With that same tool set then, the level design team can come in and start carving through the geometry to be able to place their buildings. Now, if you listen to the way that we're doing on the level design, we're trying to put that as modular as well to be able to work as efficiently as possible, right? And then we start play testing once they've played stuff in there. Once we go, cool, that's dialed in. Could the artist come in and then place other unique specific props and stuff within that area? Absolutely. That would just help give it some love. So procedural by no means is you click a button and awesome, we got a planet, right? Because then we would do what, 379 clicks. There's 379 planets.
Bam,
and go.
done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the procedural and more importantly almost is the tool set in creating the terrain for each ecosystem has matured so much in the last little bit. It gives the artist the ability to really quickly throw the stuff together.
Mm.
Yeah. I know Chris had said too, you know, who knows in the future, could this tool set that we're pulling together actually get into, you know, players' hands? I think we'd love it to. Right? Wow. It's not on our roadmap right now because we need to focus on getting our stuff done. But yeah, it's cool. We dig it. All the artists, you know, if we have candidates that come in or whatever, when they look at what we're doing and what tools we have, they're just like, I want to play with that. You know? Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I can totally imagine.
It's good. It's good stuff.
For you, if you could choose whichever thing that would be put in the game, what would it be? Like if you could take anything you ever wanted to see in Star Citizen, what would that be?
to implement.
Please say dinosaurs. Please say space dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, realistic? I don't know. Again, it comes back to I see so much, right?
Yeah.
And I often say, I've said for a long time, I think I'm so open-minded that sometimes it makes me indecisive, at least in my own likes and dislikes. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh my God, that's cool. Oh wait, that's cool. Oh my God, that's cool. They were like, oh, that sucks. I'm like, yeah, that sucks too, but it kind of sucks in a cool way, right? So honestly, there's not really anything, that I could go, oh my God, I can't wait for that thing, right? If there was a system in line, and if I had to push something, I would say I definitely look forward to, walking in the cantina and just seeing life move about, right? People serving food and people sitting down and people eating and how people are avoiding each other and so on and so on. Because for me, if I look at a scene like that, I know how much low-level work went into building a foundation to get us to where we were, right? How many arguments we had and how much blood and sweat gets put into some of these things, trying new things and so on. So when I see stuff like that accomplished, you kind of go, okay, wow, look where we've come, Yeah, it's so cool. Far. Yeah, exactly. All right, what else?
Do we have time for more questions, or what do you think, guys? Okay, one more.
Is there something that are there any questions that came from the chat that would be nice? Yeah, some relaxed one maybe.
If we can't find a relaxed question, we could also just, Brian, is there anything you off the cuff want to share or anything come to mind that you're Ooh!
That one.
Cheeky.
That's the one.
That one.
Check. Thanks everyone for watching.
That would be like a vicious, weird cycle, right?
Oh, it just keep going and
yeah.
And
I will make your dreams come true. What is the one? That one. I will make your dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently my mic was muted. I will re-say that. What is the one question that you wish everyone would ask you?
No, we heard that.
We heard you.
I think
no,
it's okay.
Apparently Chat didn't hear me.
I think Chat's messing with you.
Okay.
Chat is totally messing with you.
Oh, we're getting trolled. This is a great way to end the show.
Bring it on, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I get it from all over the place. I get people reaching out saying, hey, thanks, we appreciate your work. I get people beating me up. So I think, honestly, when people, ask me about the office and they're excited about stuff and they're excited about the game, it's kind of whatever. It goes all over the place, right? So I'm open for everything. I think the hair questions have calmed down. Those were pretty thick for a while.
You can only ask so many of those. Nice
Absolutely. Pun. Yeah. Those were really thick for a while. So yeah, I'm glad those slowed down.
Yeah.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of our too short Diverse the Verse. We have enough questions. We could go on for hours yet.
Oh,
yes, I know.
Yeah.
But everyone's busy. It's Friday. Everyone's busy. We all have lives.
Time to let you
I have
go
a
off
graduation party tomorrow that I had to actually reschedule. Obviously, because I wanted to do this show. So
thank you.
Tomorrow I'm going to have a party.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
I have to go and bake a cake.
We weren't invited, though. You didn't
you are, obviously. Like, if you want to come, just join me whenever.
You'll be my plus one. Brian, thank you so much for taking the time today to sit with us and talk with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you to everybody in your office. We're we're so grateful that you take the time to do this. It means a lot. So
Yeah,
we
100%.
definitely appreciate it.
I honestly really enjoy talking with the community, the people that give us the support. I always say I look at the backers and the fans communities as our, not only our friends, but also as the publisher. And that's how I look at it. So when I'm providing information, it's providing information to our publisher. When they go, hey, what's the status of this, right? Cool.
Yeah.
This is where we at. So that was so many good times over the last couple of years with backers and fans, and I know it's just the beginning. So I know this took a while for us to schedule, but I'm definitely open for it again. Let's just find a time that it works for everyone.
awesome.
Awesome. That would be great.
Cool.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching.
Yeah, thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for watching.
Keep an eye on our Twitter for when we schedule our next episode of Diverse the Verse, episode 8, and who our special guest will be. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend. And
Yeah. Now I'm curious who it'll be.
Who is it going to be?
Yeah. I'll have to tune. I'll have to tune in.
Yeah.
I'll just send an email out to the company and go, who the hell is going on?
Right. Hey. Thank you, chat,
Awesome.
for joining us today. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you all soon.
Yeah, and thanks for the good questions as well.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. Yay. MzHartz.